Hello everyone. So I am back with a new video. As you saw on the thumbnail, this video is about user stories. Let's start the video with a brilliant quote from Mike Cohn. User stories are part of an agile approach that helps shift the focus from writing about requirements to talking about them. So, what are the user stories? User story is a concept used in agile software development and product management to describe one or more product features from the end user's perspective. This tool helps the development team understand for whom, what, and why they develop a particular feature. In simple words, a user story is a short and informal description of a software feature written from the end user's perspective. A user story aims to write how some work will deliver value to the end user. A user story deals with three basic questions. First, who is the user? Second, what the user wants. And third, why the user wants so. Thus, we can say that the user story identifies the user, their need, and their intention behind the need. A well-written user story allows a team to focus on the user's needs. However, unclear user stories can create confusion within a team. Well, do you know that a user story is the smallest unit of work in the Agile framework? User stories are also building blocks of epics and initiatives. We will discuss the epic and initiative in detail in the later section of the video. Just keep watching the video. Both Kanban and Scrum frameworks use user stories. But why? What are the benefits of writing user stories in Agile? How user stories make Agile better than traditional product development methods? Why should Agile teams create user stories? So here we go. Every Agile team writes user stories because of the following benefits. The first benefit is that user stories keep the focus on users. Second advantage of creating user story is that it makes projects more manageable. The third is that it generates momentum. Fourth, user stories reduce software bugs. Fifth, it facilitates creativity. Sixth, it enables collaboration and communication. The seventh benefit of creating a user story is that it provides the vision to the development team. Eighth, user stories save time. Ninth, it may increase the velocity of the team. And the last point is that user stories help in prioritizing the features of a product. Now the next question arises that who writes user stories? So, writing user stories is a shared responsibility of the whole team. External users, internal customers or colleagues, product owner, stakeholders, or domain experts, other team members like sales managers, marketers, any of them can write user stories. However, in many organizations, the product owner is primarily responsible for writing user stories and arranging them in the backlog. And if the development team has a business analyst, the product owner will collaborate with the business analyst to write user stories. But an ideal Agile project expects to have user stories written by every team member. But when are user stories created? Well, user stories are created throughout any Agile project. But generally, user story meetings or workshops take place around the starting of the project. One should not forget that more recent user stories are more relevant for the development team. Also, new stories keep the team updated with the user's requirements. In Scrum, product backlog refinement sessions provide the opportunity to discuss user stories. And the most exciting thing is that user stories can be added to the product backlog by anyone at any time, of course, after agreeing with the product owner. Now let's talk about Agile themes. In Agile, themes are the large and central areas of focus. What are Agile initiatives? So, in Agile, initiatives are a collection of epics. Now, what are Agile epics? In Agile, an epic is a big chunk of work that can be divided into user stories. Epics include features, business requirements, and customer needs. But what are the characteristics of user stories? First, user stories are mostly independent of each other. Second, user stories are negotiable. Third, user stories are estimable. Fourth, user stories are prioritized. Fifth, a big user story can split into multiple user stories. Sixth, multiple user stories can be combined. Here are a few things you should keep in mind while writing a user story. First, write user stories that can be done in one sprint. Second, user stories are written in the user's language so that it is understandable to the business and technical teams. Third, while writing stories, you should be clear with your user personas. Fourth, you need to have a clear image of the end state of the feature in your mind while drafting the user story. Fifth, user stories should not go into detail about any feature. After discovering so much about user stories, are you ready to write perfect user stories for your next project? Now, let's talk about story points. In Agile software development, story point is a metric used to measure user stories' complexity defined by effort, dependencies, and unknowns. More specifically, the story point is an arbitrary number that helps the team estimate the difficulty of implementing a particular user story. And if you want to know how you can estimate the story points of a user story, then don't worry. I am coming soon with another video. Now let's bust some myths about user stories. First, a user story is not a software requirement, but small work that improves the end user experience. Second, the user story doesn't describe the specific desired feature, but instead defines the user's need. Third, user stories are not the same as use cases. Fourth, the user story is not a detailed description, but it is a short description of users' needs in their language. The last point is that user stories are not same as formal requirements documents of the traditional waterfall method. The user story has gained immense popularity in the software development industry. No wonder why, because user stories help the team focus on the customer's fundamental needs. It saves the product team from getting trapped in the process rather than delivering the value to the client or, ideally, end user. User stories are the heartbeat of Agile, hence its proper implementation can improve an Agile project's outcome. And if you have any other best practices for user stories, then share them in the comments section. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we at Mentorites offer personalized mentoring to clear Scrum Master interviews and excel in Scrum Master roles. Link to Mentorites in the description. Get in touch with me through WhatsApp, LinkedIn, or email. Thank you. I will see you in the next video.